Solutions, and I have with me today my partner Phantom. We're going to go over in this video tutorial one of my favorite exercises and one I commonly use, which I usually refer to as the head down cue, but I'm going to refer to it in this video as pull low. Phantom is outfitted in one of my Peaceful Solutions bridles with the reins. I also included a nice pink spot on her cheek, and this is for your focal point in the video. The pole section of the horse is right here, situated behind the ears, and it's where the horse holds the most tension. So as I'm referring to this section of the horse, what we're going to do in this exercise is I teach this on the ground first. And what I'm going to teach Phantom to do is when I pick up on pressure, I would like her to respond by lowering her head, or in other words, lowering that pink spot. In turn, the pole is going to relax and stretch down and out. Once that happens, the gullet of the horse will open, and the three major muscles of the neck, which are the splenius muscle, the brachiocephalic muscle, and the sternomandibular muscle, will all in turn relax. And that's one of the things that I'm commonly looking for in this phase of the training. So to go into a little bit more detail, I'm going to hold the rein with my right hand. When I position my hand to ask for the pull low cue, I'm going to put my hand right at the buckle of the rein. When I pick up on pressure, I am looking for Phantom to respond with the direction of down. Now she has 6 ways she can answer me. She can guess up, down, left, right, forward, or back. In this case, I'm looking for no other direction but down. Couple things with this exercise. I want to make sure that when Phantom lowers her head, she lowers it all the way to the dirt, because right here is where she's really going to open up her gullet and stretch through her pole. In turn, she's going to come down into contact and create a better connection on the bit. Sometimes when I get horses in training, they're commonly closed in this gullet area because their necks have been shortened so that it will look more like this. Some of these muscles are actually overdeveloped, and the horse has become accustomed to coming behind vertical, or in other words, bringing the chin more towards the chest. If I have a horse like that, I will ask for the same cue by asking the horse to put its head down. When you're using your hand for this exercise, one of the things some of my students start out by doing is they start pulling downward. So if you pull downward on pressure, it's not really going to help you when you get in the saddle. So I always tell my students, don't practice anything on the ground that you can't directly transfer when you're riding. So in other words, if my hands were up here when I'm riding, and I were to take my hand upward in a diagonal motion in this direction, if I were to keep crawling down this rein increment by increment, I'm going to end up in a position where Phantom is making a smile line right at the corner. So if I'm picking up on that pressure, she's going to in turn lower her head. Now, if we were to turn Phantom in the direction to face the camera, so you can see it from another angle, I'm going to come on the other side because you want to make sure that you do indeed teach this exercise on both sides. It's very important for your horse to be symmetrically balanced. When I usually teach a training horse, one of the first exercises I will go to is indeed the pull low exercise, and I want to make sure that both sides of the contact are even. So if I feel tension in the horse's head, neck, pole, anywhere in this area, I'm going to keep working on this exercise until I even it out and the horse is polite on contact. If you have a horse that throws its head, horse that's not polite on pressure, this is a great exercise to go to. The other thing that makes this exercise great is it's an anti-anxiety cue, because each time the horse lowers its head below the chest, it's a natural way for the horse to start the heart rate to drop. So that way the horse's anxiety level drops and the horse becomes calmer. So again, I'm going to practice this exercise on both sides. One of the things to remember when you're using your hand, one of the common mistakes are people flip their hands this way. So when they go to pick up on the rein pressure, they're actually flipping with their fingernails facing. And for us ladies, that's not a good way to do it because it takes away from our natural leverage. So I always tell everyone to think of scratching down the horse's side, pick up your rein, make a fist, and think of bopping right into that pink spot. Okay, you're not actually going to push, but you are going to let your knuckles touch. That way if the horse throws its head left or right, you can steer the head away from you or bring it towards you to be able to keep yourself at a safer distance. If I need to, I'll keep my right hand on the rein just from keeping the reins from flying over Phantom's head. And when I ask her to lower, I want to make sure that this hand allows the loop to come into the rein. I don't want to keep it back here because if she starts to lower and then she actually lowers low enough, she's going to end up hitting my rein and the bit is going to punish her. And I want to make sure that she gets a complete release for her effort. So when she lowers her head, I'm going to in turn allow the rein to slide forward. This is one of those cues where if your hands aren't right, the horse isn't going to do it. So it's one of those that you can practice and practice and practice. It's never an exercise that you can do too much of. I mean, you can really practice this exercise until it's really, really great. One precaution, make sure that your head is not over top of the horse's poll, so that if the horse were to become startled at something or throw its head up in the air, you're not in the line of fire where you would actually get hit in the face. Make sure that you keep your head away from theirs. I'm going to pick up on that pressure until she lowers, and I'm going to release. In terms of pressure, most ask me, how much pressure do I use? I always start off with a matching pressure. So I'm going to meet Phantom, I'm going to match her pressure. So in other words, if she's picking up her head and she's raising her head, I'm going to follow her head up, and the second that her direction goes down, I'm going to release it. Now there she started bobbing her head. They're going to get into the I did it, I did it, I did it phase, and once they do that, I'm still going to hold pressure upwards until they become polite about it, lower their head, and keep their head there. I don't consider this cue done until my horse will leave their head down low without me picking up on the rein to correct them for at least 15 seconds. And once we have this at a standstill, then we'll take the walking addition to the exercise. If the horse moves their feet during the course of this cue, go along with them. The second that they lower their head, release the pressure. So that way, the horse starts to figure out that even if they move the feet, that's not really what you're looking for, but as long as the head lowers, release that pressure, and they will begin to understand that they're doing too much. They don't need to be moving their feet. All they need to do is lower their head. So I hope this exercise helps. It's a great, great exercise, very effective, one that is one of the most important exercises that I teach, from unbroke horses all the way up to performance level horses and problem horses in between. It's something that I refer back to a lot, teach my own horses, revamp in their exercises, and as they're moving on and changing levels and revamping muscles and rewiring their body, it's very important that you revisit this exercise. So I hope that helps, and remember, we're looking for the pole to lower, and once that pole lowers, pressure up, release the rein. If anybody has any questions about this exercise, please feel free to contact me at tarajones7@yahoo.com. If anyone's interested in any of my training programs or classes, you can check out my website at tarajonestraining.com, or feel free to drop me a line and ask me about the details. Thanks so much, Phantom, for joining me today. I hope you guys found this information useful, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.